And you
I'm
can't.
not touching their stuff.
I have no idea.
You don't know?
No.
Okay, then we're off and running with our experts.
During
I've
the
been having a wood
C-word
shortage.
process, well, that can happen as you get older in life. Come on, man. This is a joke.
You put cologne on your butt?
Well,
So in order to play, you have to wear jorts.
I don't have George. I could probably wear a Speedo now.
Want to do that? No, you probably could.
He'll be over here tomorrow digging out a big-ass bush.
Sonny and share, like and share, whatever.
Yeah.
Just something and share. Yes, hello. Welcome to Larger Than Live Season 2. Is this episode
12.
13? It's episode 13.
It is
I think
already?
this is lucky
Oh, you're
13.
right. I think I
The
missed-
downward dog. Well, you were busy napping with Fidge. on
Good.
the
I wish I
floor.
was napping right now, to be perfectly
In the
honest
downward
with you.
dog
Yes.
position. He's Gamble. I'm Finn. Welcome to our home away from home, Studio G. We figure by the end of August we may be able to get back outside. Since now the frigid temperatures of Monday, which will continue through the week. Sun will be out Wednesday when you join us at the Moorline Lager House, but we'll tell you more about that here in a few. He's Gamble. I'm Finn. And what we like to do every week around this time is shoot a couple of topics out there, bounce them around, and then throw some extras on our YouTube channel, Gamble, capital N, Finn, just like this one. You can like, subscribe, do all that stuff, and get little extra bits and pieces. So obviously there's two big things going on right now, Mother's Day being the first one, Fred. And you had a whole new meaning to Mother's Day this year.
Yeah, we do. And the weather yesterday was stupendous.
Really nice to get Mom out for a drown.
It was awesome. Now, Saturday was nice. Of course, Mother's Day. Now, is Mother's Day the day? Good Friday, I believe it always rains, correct? In
Typically,
theory?
yes.
And is Mother's Day the same way, or does that vary?
I don't know. Maybe that's just God shedding tears for, in honor of.
Maybe.
I don't know what I'm talking
So,
about.
no, you are correct
Gave up
with
on
your
religion.
reference there, because we have currently my mother, who is
Yes.
89. She would be residing with us.
Yes.
Well, my dad undergoes some physical therapy, so they're both 89, living independently on their own.
For the time being, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
Right.
and, God love them. And I don't know how. You talk about intestinal fortitude and that just that never-ending desire to be independent. I get it. But, yeah, she's been living with us for a week plus, and so, yeah.
So now for Mother's Day, because, my mom is in Florida, my sister's in Florida.
Right.
They spent the weekend out of town together. I celebrated the two of them as mothers just as best I could, digitally mainly. And then I spent with my better half with her family. So there were 4 mothers and 3 mother, there at their house. That was nice. And they do it's typically they do like a Sunday dinner or whatever, but they got each other some little gifts and things like that. But do you guys make a big deal? I saw Lori's picture of her and the boys. I see that picture usually once a year.
Well, I mean, I think I will tell you what Lori's done the last couple of years. Wasn't able to do it yesterday because her sister's middle son, Patrick, graduated from Ohio State, which they stayed over, and they had, the COVID graduation, which all that stuff's nonsense. But neither here nor there. What they normally will do is Lori, her sister Lisa, stepsister Kathy will take the mom Mary out, and they do something collectively together, which is cool. I mean, they've done things like go to dinner or gone to a show, stuff like that. What's that?
Oh, Vegas, yeah. They did the Vegas trip.
But I mean, and that to me, it's interesting you bring up Mother's Day, because this is the one that gets me. And you're correct. And I always try to make sure that I am appreciative to Lori for being the mother of our kids.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's where the problem starts for me. And that is trying to tell my 3 lunkhead boys that, she's your mom.
Right.
Like, Mother's Day, that's up to you guys to take care of her for Mother's Day. I mean, she only does everything for you the rest of the year. So,
well, that's my question. And this kind of is Mother's Day. And we'll get to this versus Father's Day here in a minute. But
what is that?
There is such a thing.
Okay.
I'll fill you in. I just heard about this.
Okay.
But this and Christmas, at what age do they get? Are they on their own to get their own gifts or their expressions of whatever it is for their mother? Or, for instance, in Christmas, like for you, when would they pick out and pay for their own gifts for either of you?
I think it runs the gamut from 16 being able to drive,
right,
and kind of 18-ish, upward 21 in that range. I think because you got to have money. I mean, it doesn't do any
disposable
good.
Income. Yeah,
it doesn't do any good for. But you know what? I would have no issue if say our 15-year-old had come to me and said, "Hey, I'd like to get Mom this for Mother's Day." I would have said, "Here you go."
Right.
Because that's initiative.
Right.
See, that's now to his credit. He spent the night over a buddy's house, and on the way home, got Lori got some donuts, like called ahead. I mean, okay, but thought.
At least there was thought, yes.
Now, the oldest, Matthew, who cooks a lot with Lori and is a very good cook, chef, whatever you want to call it. So he called and wanted to make dinner, and he did. I mean, and he made an outstanding, made a massive kind of a variety of Mexican-type dishes, outstanding. And Lori helped him because that's, she wanted to.
But you know what? That's cool. I think that's something that they both share an interest in and that they can do. And it's got to be gratifying as the parent to see your offspring want to do that and do something together. Because oddly, Mother's Day always seems to be about doing something with mom. Father's Day always seems to be about, you guys get away from me. I just want to be by myself. That's what I want for Father's Day. I want to go play golf or just leave me alone.
But then the other, so then I took it upon myself because one of the things is I was going to call, because I feel, now of course I can't drive, which is a monumental pain in the ass when it comes to stuff like this, because I would just go and get whatever and do whatever. So I did ask Lori a couple days ago. I said, hey, what do you want for Mother's Day? More for me to tell the kids. I conveyed that. And that's where I guess I'm just at, I'll be brutally honest with you right here and now. I'm at the frustration level on lots of.
Breaking point?
Yeah. On a lot of different things. People in general, people who don't. I'm convinced, and I'm going to get off subject for 30 seconds. I'm sick and tired. And if this is you, it's you. Pay attention and listen. Pay attention to something. I'm tired of being your adult babysitter if I deal with you in business. Get your head out of your ass. Pay attention to something because I'm sick of it. I'm tired of people. It's this excuse making. It's nobody is paying attention right now. And I'm sure you experience it with some of the other stuff.
I was just saying, I'm glad I'm not.
Anything.
I was like, if you really need to tell me this, we could have done it beforehand.
You're
not talking to me.
I'm not talking. No, I'm not talking to you. But you know what I mean? I had a conversation with somebody that I do business with.
And
they were like, hey, we keep getting these calls about this. I said, yeah, and I can tell you why. Nobody pays attention to everything. And then it's the old, I go back to, they didn't do so good in the game. They lost. But it was when Chip Kelly was in the national championship game when he coached Oregon against Auburn with the cheating Auburn with Cam Newton.
Right.
He said, they asked him about, are you ready for the game? And he said, yes. He said, because our failure to prepare should not constitute an emergency for anyone else.
Yeah.
And that's what I would tell all these. And that's kind of my new thing.
Well, that's a common phrase. Lack of preparation on your part does not constitute an emergency on my part.
Yeah,
no, absolutely. But it's funny. This is all, and now that the weather's starting to break and a little bits and pieces of getting back to whatever the next normal is going to be, you're starting to see people they're going one of two ways with their fatigue. They're getting to the point where you and I are, where, okay, enough of the Excusatron 3000, enough of blaming this and blaming that, get back to work because this is what we've been itching to do. Or the people that are just happy to go, well, I'm in a boat without an oar. I don't know where I'm going. I guess life's just going to take me that will ever go. Yeah. And guess what? If I run into your boat, that's your fault.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of that.
That's not it. I'm with you. I'm not babysitting anymore. I'm not going to do your work for you anymore.
But it's back to Mother's Day. It's initiative. I mean, you're the son or you're the daughter.
Right.
She's your mother. You should care enough to say thank you. It shouldn't be incumbent on me. And I've stopped doing that.
Yeah.
I've stopped going, hey, did you get your mom's? That's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't blame it on her. I mean, somebody help me understand how that's even conceivable.
Yeah.
But that's the generation today. And I know the younger generation today doesn't have a clue.
Well, I would tell you this, and this will very much surprise you based on every discussion we've been having over the last, 5 years. Minnie Finn did say to me, she goes, hey, I've got a plan for Father's Day weekend. She told me this 2 weeks ago. She said, I'm going to do this, and she's doing something with her stepdad. She goes, and then on Sunday and Monday, I'm going to come over, and this is what I want to do together. And it was something she wanted to do with me. And I said, that's fantastic. The fact she wanted to do something with me and had it planned out in her head and even the time frame and what she wanted to do, I said, that could not make me happier. And that is, we don't have a lot of back and forth right now. And that was pretty cool. But you're right. That little bit of initiative is the thing that makes more of the difference than the actual doing of the thing.
And it's nothing monetary.
No.
That's not the issue. It's showing that you're appreciative and that you care about what, in this case, your mother has done, not just now, but always for you.
Right. And I think that carries over to what you were just talking about, the frustration of just now beyond Mother's Day, the appreciation for what everybody around you does do. And you look around and go, okay, maybe I kind of took that for granted because now it's gone. Or, even trying to find people to work in businesses right now that don't want to come back to work because they're making as much money not doing anything. All of those things are going to backfire eventually. Ultimately, like you talked about with Mother's Day or Father's Day or just showing any initiative and appreciation, if you don't appreciate what you have until it's gone, that is the biggest of all backfires. So I would say anything that we've just discussed with regard to just that simple holiday and Mother's Day actually is an overlay for everything we're going through right now.
And let's be honest, it is hard, and this is shame on us, and I'll put myself in this. I can't use the I'm always busy and this and that. That's no excuse. I mean, we do get caught up in the everyday, just never-ending, guinea pig or gerbil wheel, right? You just kind of run and you run, and oh, by the way, it's Wednesday, and you run, and oh, it's Saturday now, and you got to stop and say no. I mean, you do. Like, one thing for me, and this is going to sound goofy, like, I've tried now when I take Fidge for a walk, I don't take my phone. There's no reason why I need to be on my phone while I'm walking the dog. I mean, I'm walking the dog to get away from that. So why am I bringing it with? And then guess what happens? It rings, and what do? I answer it.
Right.
Nope.
Yep. No, I've caught you a couple of times, and I could tell that you were just trying to clear your head. I'm like, we'll talk later when you get done or whatever. I do talk because that's when I get to talk to my mom.
Well, that's fine. And
it makes my walk go faster. But that's a way, it's how I cope. So you figured it out. Now, there's other times when I look down and there's a handful of people that now when they text me, because they don't have any idea when to send a text and when not to.
Right.
I've turned their text tone into just a vibrate, so I don't know if they're texting me or not. But I've told them, I said, I can't take a text from you at 4:15 in the morning. I can't do it.
Who is texting you at 4:15 in the morning? And why?
Well, it's sort of a funny example. It's somebody I do other business with, and he just never sleeps. So he sent me a text at 4:15, I guess thinking I wouldn't hear it, and it wouldn't be, I woke up,
hang on,
and then I couldn't go back to sleep for like an hour.
But see, now I have a theory on that.
Okay.
So it's kind of funny because people have said to me, like, because I get up early and I do some emails and stuff, and they're like, well, people they could have their phone by them. I said, that's their problem, not mine. If you don't need to sleep with your damn phone. You don't.
Well, I
Put
do.
Your phone away.
I only do because it's my alarm clock as well. It's whatever. And if something were to happen,
put it on silent, right?
So I did. Well, I put this person's text tone then on vibrate so that it doesn't ding.
But it still, when it vibrates, does it still wake you up?
Not as bad as a ding would. But the funny thing is, about 2 weeks after that, I had put him on vibrate, and about 4:45 in the morning, ding, and I'm like, oh, did this thing reset itself off vibrate? I look over,
else?
It was his son. It was the same person's son who apparently has the same sleep schedule. And he was sending me something that he wanted me to take a look at.
And they do say
vibrate.
Right. And that's what people will say to me. Like, and I usually have in the morning, if it's somebody who's just a general business associate, I usually use 6:30 or 7.
Yeah.
And if you're in the school community, which most of the people
that makes sense.
They're up then. They're most of them are actually at school. But anyway, I don't know. I just think I can't. If somebody's going to call me and I'm always there to answer, that's on me.
That is on you. Yeah. Sometimes, well, you said it before, and sometimes you just have to say no.
You do.
And I think we're now getting to the point, and I think other people have finally gotten to the point where you're restructuring how you do everything. We talked about the burnout that's been revealed by COVID and all the different things that have been revealed. And people are learning now that they have to say no. About I can't do everything because this group can't do their part or this group can't do their part. Because if you do it, and if you give what you do away for free, that's what it's worth.
Yeah.
And if you go on and keep doing it, guess what? You will end up continuing to do that. It'll be expectation.
I can only blame myself. I've done way too much for way too many for way too long.
For way too little.
And for way too little, and that is just coming to an end.
Yep. Well,
and I realize there's going to be a period that's going to be difficult because you've always done that is what I'm going to hear in return. And I'm going to say, you're correct, I have. Shouldn't have done it then. Not going to do it now.
It'll be in a bit of a seismic shift for everyone involved on both sides of the equation. But again, I hate to go back to quoting Cinderella. You don't know what you've got until it's gone. And unfortunately, we've always been the ones that have had to experience that. Now there's going to be certain people that are going to be surprised to be experiencing that and then go, you know what? Now in retrospect, maybe that was worth a little bit more, or maybe we shouldn't have asked this, or maybe we could have covered that, or whatever. So it's going to happen. I mean, the world, it is a changing, my friend.
You know what it's time for?
What?
It's time for a reset.
Reset, yeah.
It's Gamble and Finn. It's our Larger Than Live. I'm Gamble. He's Finn. Don't forget, you can check us out here Mondays at 7 or Wednesdays 5 to 7, like this Wednesday, where we'll take it. Sunshine in 63, beats gale force winds in 48 to 49, which it was last week, because we almost got tent blown into the Ohio River, right, on multiple occasions.
Right.
And the good news of the tent and our setup out there on their event lawn, which is a great spot, is we needed sun. Like
we're the only canopy shaded part.
Right, everybody else out in the sun, having a great day. We're up there freezing our ass off. But it's going at some point, maybe. I think in December we'll still be there because it's going to be 92
degrees
in December. I do. But anyway, come join us. It's a lot of fun. Redlegs are out of town on the road. That doesn't matter. It's still a great beers. They have a full menu. Yeah. We'll have some chances, some trivia, just some funny conversation. We've been very engaging with the folks who come down there. It's a lot of fun.
And I think that's going to be the big part of it. It's a chance to come down. We shoot segments for the show that we'll push out. We'll do the first one live, just to remind you that we're out there. And then we'll shoot some segments to put out on the YouTube channel. But I think it's a great opportunity that this obviously doesn't provide. And, and other opportunities to come out and be involved and be engaged and be part of the show. And I think it's funny because we learn as much as you do about what matters to you and what you want to hear opinions about or what your opinions are. And that is fun.
The best one, though, was when you called up, there was a couple who...
don't give it away. Don't give it away, because I'm going to use that every week.
Okay, all right, okay.
It was a specific trivia question.
And, man, that look on her face, it looked like she just saw it go. She had no clue. And the question really wasn't too difficult.
It wasn't very difficult, but anyway. That's one of my favorite trivia questions of all time, and we will use it as long as we can get away with it. But it is fun. Come on down. And the way that they've got it set up with the tables and chairs and picnic tables, there's room for any size group, and it's just a chance to hang out, have a few beers.
They've got that cool outdoor concession stand where you just walk up and you get your beverage and
And you place your order, they'll bring it out to you.
Right out to you. It's awesome.
And then weather permitting, we're outside. And if there is a weather issue, we can move to the indoor beer garden, and all the same rules apply. So,
you just used the word rules.
Oh, yes.
So we talked last week, in fact, about we kind of did it with our own golf about how people cheat. And we kind of segued it into just cheating in general, because it truly doesn't seem like anybody can play by the rules. Everybody has to try and get their little advantage. And many today, sadly, are doing it illegally. And the latest to that would be dealing with outside of when it was first D. Wayne Lucas, and then it became Bob Baffert, the most visible, most recognized, most successful trainer in the thoroughbred racing industry, Bob Baffert.
Yeah, and I think the story came out yesterday that, what is it, Medina something or other, Medina Spirit.
Yes.
Got tested, and they have up to 14 days to test the horses, found too much of a banned substance or a particular substance in the bloodstream, could end up having to vacate the win in the Kentucky Derby. And that has to be the most, because all they did was just blow him about 7 Kentucky Derbies and this and that. But I have a theory.
Well, let me ask you this: if you have to vacate, do you have to? I presume you have to return the purse.
I believe you probably would return the purse, but pari-mutuel betting done. They're not redoing anything.
Oh yeah, well you can't.
They can't.
What do you think? Fred's going to come back and get?
Yeah, here's my money back. But think about all those people that might have put those other 3 horses in an exacta, trifecta, superfecta. Yeah, I think the last time this has happened was in the late '60s, and it is a massive stain on horse racing. And I predict, and I think, hey, Fidge, I believe that horse racing will be a thing of the past in the United States within 10 years.
Now, curiously, why?
Because I think between PETA, between this kind of corruption, the fact that the America doesn't want the Arabs coming in and continuing to infiltrate the sport as they have over the last 30 years with these other ownership companies and groups and everything else, and then all that was going on with the favorite and that one Sheikh's daughter and all the political stuff. I think it will be relegated to Europe and the UAE, and I think it'll be gone in the United States. I really do.
You would agree with this. Day-to-day thoroughbred racing, the way it once was, is already in a lot of trouble. It has been. I mean, because, they're just – and a lot of that has to do with, let's be honest, it's everything. If you used to want to kind of go watch and wager on the ponies, you had to go to the track.
Yeah.
Now, then it was off-track betting. Mutual facility, like, when Turfway still existed, they had the race book at Turfway Park. Now, you don't even have to leave your TV with TV. I mean, it's everything is now making it so what you're going to have is, to your point, you're going to have the massive money in it and those big I mean, the only thing that's really popular now, Churchill Downs still is, but that's kind of the staple, if you will, in Kentucky. But let's be honest, it's the Triple Crown and the Breeders' Cup. And that's about it, right? And I guess Derby prep races, too.
So let me ask you this. Yes. How does this affect the reconstruction plans, do you think, for Turfway? Does it become a multi-purpose facility?
Well, I think it's going to be that already.
Was it already?
It's
and if so, what are the other purposes? Yes. Because I believe they're going to have to come into play.
Well,
I really do.
And you know how Ohio now is there's the bill to legalize sports gaming,
right?
Which that's in Ohio. You would have to believe, and I know they've been kind of lamenting the fact that in Kentucky this hasn't happened. They've got the little what you can do, the VLTs, and that's been about it at certain facilities. But I don't know why, honest to God, look. If you want to bet on sports, you can find a way to do it. Just legalize. I mean, why? Legalize
it and make the tax money off of it, or do whatever. What they say, 10% of it's going to go to. This is the bullshit you hear with everything. 10% of it's going to go to the schools, and 10% of it's going to go to this. No, it isn't.
Guess where 100% of it's been going? To Indiana.
Right.
So I mean, at the end of the day, essentially, if you want to make more money for your state, that goes to me for like cigarette and liquor taxes. I'm having trouble speaking today.
Wow. I got to be honest with you. I think all of the stuff that they say, legalize this so we can tax it and we can monitor it and we can put money towards public service and this and this. I think once a month, I used to say in the newspaper back in the day when we had those, but once a month there needs to be a full-page thing put out on the interwebs of how much of every bit of that went to where it went to. Schools or whatever the programs were, I want to see that amount of money every month that went to that, because I don't believe for a split second that's happening.
And you can believe what you want to believe, but I mean, think about sports, Fred. Think about the Houston Astros in the World Series tipping off pitches. Think about Spygate and Bill Belichick and the Patriots. Now, Bob, I mean, I guess my point is, this is the most troubling. These are people at the highest level of whatever they are in. And to me, when you're that good, when you're at that level, you win some, you lose some, but you do it the right way.
Well,
I guess I just don't get it.
I think the only one that I sort of have some respect for with regard to that is NASCAR, because it's been built on cheating.
Yeah.
NASCAR was built on getting around the rules, not necessarily illegally, but doing something where they go, oh, we hadn't thought of that yet. Okay, well, that's now illegal. Then finding another way to get the same thing done. It's not in the rules,
right?
But it's going to become a rule.
And that's the aerodynamic of kind of like the cars and what you can
fuel
do.
storage.
Right.
I mean, there was one guy I think that built extra fuel up in like some roll bars, and clearly very dangerous. I remember just reading a big story about NASCAR, and they said it wasn't really cheating, but it was things that ended up becoming rules because people found a way around it.
And we didn't even get to intercollegiate athletics. I mean, all that's been going on there. But I mean, I guess that's the troubling part of it, is that we live in a world today where you can't just win fair and square. I mean, there's doping. Think about Lance Armstrong, right? I mean,
let me just tell you.
Yes.
The word cheating beyond sports, any cheating is now just become part of the game.
Oh, yeah,
it's become a factor.
See the city of Cincinnati.
Well, look into government, look into personal lives.
No, you're right.
It's just part of it, and now it's just as accepted as everything else. And you're not going to put it back in that box, but if we don't vilify people and we celebrate people for that, or we just allow them, there's no consequence.
No, I'm with you.
Karma is ultimately going to be running over a lot of people.
Yeah.
And, we shall see. But
you are right, though. When somebody, if all this is found to be true with Baffert in years past, he should be banned from the sport of training.
Well, he's already been been in trouble for this before.
Correct.
Now, let me ask you this.
Yes.
This is my theory.
Okay.
Because all you heard about, it was a yearling bought for $1,000 at the yearling sale, then sold to this guy for over
Oh,
32,000, then Bavard.
How about that?
That horse ran that race and won it wire to wire.
Yeah.
Do you think that in the back of his head, he thought there's no way this horse can do this? He's going to train it to do just enough to be competitive all the way down the line. And when it won, he was like, yes, shit. Yeah, that's what I think happened. I don't think he thought that horse could run a wire-to-wire victory. He was excited for everybody else, but he wasn't going to go up there and, well, I got to tell you guys something while he's holding the trophy and standing next to your boy Bashir. But I think he was like, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God. And now it's come out, and now he's like, oh, why did this happen to me?
Maybe because
you were a cheater.
Well, maybe because people don't realize it's not winning the Kentucky Derby. It's the breeding. It's after that. It's the
that's where the
pedigree.
money's made.
Right.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
where. So well, and think about it. That's where when you have that stable of ownership and they're all looking at you. You know, that's the pressure. So maybe that's the way he thought. Well, you know what? This is the only chance it's got, so I'm going to do that.
Yep. I'm going to see what happens. There's no way it can win with this horse, and this horse. And then it won, and I think he was like, yes, oh no.
Maybe.
And if that's what it takes to uncover a guy like that, and then I think he's trying to throw other people under the bus.
Oh, of course.
Saying stuff about other, paddock people or whatever had stuff on their hands and it got up in their gun. It's just,
that's
all
classic,
of that stuff is
that's the
deflection.
Classic where the only time you're going to say that you're sorry is when you're caught.
Right.
Then you're going to start to try and put the blame on others.
Well, and it's the classic thing. I'm sorry if you were offended by. I'm not sorry I did it.
Right.
But I'm sorry you were offended, or I'm sorry it caused a problem for so and so and so and so. Never. I'm sorry I did it.
Right.
And that's and that's the other thing that we have just completely gotten away from with the with regard to consequences and how you're supposed to teach your kids consequences for anything when all they have to do is go, well, what about that person? What about that person? What about that person?
Right.
And then you have to explain the idea of karma.
And most of the time, those people wind up being okay. So when someone looks and goes, well, you know what? Okay, so he did get a little embarrassment here, and they weren't able to do that there. But look,
dude, any time heals all wounds is a phrase that was originally, I think, meant to mean something else. Yeah. But time has now become the friend of anybody. Bill Clinton, Louis C.K., anybody, Marv Albert.
Yeah.
And anybody that's been, like you said, embarrassed for the littlest bit.
Marv really do? Somebody wore woman's undergarments to call a game. Who the hell cares?
Yeah, or well, whatever. But I guess the point is, all of that's out there. But ultimately, those people are all going to come back.
Well, sure
Everybody's because time fixes everything.
Yep.
You know who time may not fix everything for? Us individually, as the peons, not the celebrities. So keep that in the back of your head. All right. Well, I tell you, we got to get to the extras.
We do.
Unless there's anything else you want to cover here in the Larger Than Life. Probably not a bad idea to thank our friends at Fueled Collective. I'm going to be heading up that way actually this week. I'm going to be spending a little bit of time in there. Right. If you need office space.
Drinking or working?
What was the first thing again?
Drinking or working?
What was the second thing?
Working.
Yeah, it was A. We're going to go with A.
Okay.
Because they have a full bar there. It's office space for people that don't need an office, but you get all kinds of telecommunications opportunities. That sounded like something out of the 80s, didn't it?
Telecommunications opportunities.
Teleconferencing, that sort of thing. Fueled Collective, if you need an office, but you don't want to buy an office, that's your office.
Nobody does telecommunications like we do.
So,
hey, while we're at it, too, this program is called Larger Than Live. It's a V, not an F.
Yes, meet us at the V. That's what we always say. And so let's see. We do this Monday, 7 o'clock for about 30 minutes. The extras are all on the YouTube channel. Wednesdays, 5 to 7, the Moorline Lager House, outside or inside. Yoga is going to be starting soon, so we'll have that to.
We're ready. I've been working on that downward dog.
Yes, he has. Just check out the graphic. I've also been working on the upward bird, so you'll get to see that possibly too if your yoga is too loud. What else is going to be happening? Oh, Thursday nights, as long as there are no Reds, we're going to be on the radio station.
This Thursday is a night off.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, so no.
Reds are in Colorado, I believe. So they actually play the game at the time we would be on the airwaves.
Very good. So that's where you could find us. Good luck finding us on the website, but we believe we're there somewhere. Yes. And outside of that, we'll come out and host a birthday party, whatever you want us to do. You let us know.
Yeah, if your kid's been naughty and you want to bring us out and have us handle that, we're good.
We've got a price tag we can put on that. Don't worry about it. Anyway, that's been a good one. Season 2, episode 13 is in the books. We're going to have a couple of episodes that are going to be best of shows and things over the next couple of months, and give you some holiday time away from us as we take some holiday time away from each other.
And remember, larger than live V.
Right. And if you don't remember, send an email. All right, let's wrap it up, Fred. What do you say? All right, he's Gamble, I'm Finn.
And we are out.